Hi there. Welcome to the Made by Youth African Youth Day webinar themed The Next Generation of Africa's Next Innovators. With me, Joseph Kwartin, the project lead for Made by Youth. On this webinar, we are going to be having amazing African minds speaking to us on African innovation, the future, the challenges, and what is happening in Africa. I'm going to be having people from tech, media, music, and content creation speak to you on what you have to know and how to build yourself as an African youth. My first speaker, who is also going to open the grounds for us, is going to share her knowledge on tech. She's a tech girl. She's a tech expert, and she's going to share her knowledge with you. She goes by the name Zulaiha Dobia Abdallah. She's the CEO and founder of Developer. You love to listen to her. Let's go listen to it.
Basically, my name is Zulaiha Dobia Abdallah, like you mentioned. I'm the founder for Developer. What I do and what I'm passionate about is to spread technology across the youth, especially in women. Over the years, I have built competence in development and making sure that I am a tech person. I've realized that the youth in Africa do not really know a lot about tech, especially when it comes to women. And so I am on a mission to empower 1 million girls in tech across Africa, starting in Ghana. And then I'm also enthusiastic about leadership and entrepreneurship, especially in the youth. And so over the years, that's what I've been doing through my organization called Developer. Aside that, I work as an auditor too, with an audit firm. And I speak at various conferences and all the events that get to invite me to speak about tech and also to expose what we, the youth in Ghana especially, are built of. And then we are looking forward to doing a lot in the future. So that's basically what I do. And that's just a brief introduction about me. It's amazing. It's been 6 years now. We have the privilege of saying that we've reached over 6,000 girls and women and youth. We've trained them in digital marketing, computing, introduction to computer. We have some girls who don't know how to use a computer, and we've been able to teach them even how to boot the computer. We have the coding classes. We have the AI classes. Aside that, we also empower entrepreneurs. So we have the Developer Business Incubator, where we get entrepreneurs to come, teach them how to build a business, and then help them to be able to get funding as and when they need. We also like to build our girls' leadership because we realize that in this generation, the generations in front, is not all about your competence. It's also about you positioning yourself as a leader of the future. And so we also have the leadership summits that we do by inviting various leaders from across different corporate organizations and then letting them impact leadership skills in the girls that we do. So Developer has been doing awesome. We've had the opportunity to be funded and partnered with a lot of organizations, including the Youth Mobilization Fund by the EU. We have KGL Foundation also doing a lot. We have Stanbic Incubator also doing a lot, and other NGOs and also corporate bodies. For the past 6 years, we've been able to do that through this organization. I've also had the opportunity to fly around. I'm privileged to even say that I'm currently in Uganda going to speak at an AI conference because of the work and the impact we've done with developers so far. So it's been an amazing run. We are looking forward to still being able to impact in more girls, women, and the youth in Africa and across the globe, one community at a time and one step at a time. And so it's been quite a journey. It's been an exciting one, and I am privileged to be the one leading the whole team in doing that. The first thing I'll say is every achiever you know has that. I mean, I've not met anyone that is doing awesome that hasn't told me that they have imposter syndrome, and that's what they call it, imposter syndrome. Sometimes you see yourself and you know you're capable of doing certain things, but just when you're about to take the step, you're like, what if I fail? What if I'm not able to achieve it? What if I'm not able to do this? And that imposter syndrome, if you allow it to eat you up, it's just going to make sure you don't do anything at all. And so my advice to anyone doing this is that everyone that you see that has achieved something has imposter syndrome. Whether they tell you or they don't tell you, all of them have self-doubt. All of them have the points where they are like, oh, wait, I can't do it. I always tell people when I'm talking to them that every time I'm about to talk or every time I'm about to give a speech, I get nervous. I feel what if I make mistakes? Even before we started this call, I was like, what if I'm not able to answer the questions correctly? But then I had to snap out of it, because at every particular point in time, you need to know that you are who you are because of your competence. And that's why I always advocate that if you want to be confident in everything that you do, if you want to be able to shut down the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome that you feel every time, is that you need to be an accomplished person and also build your competence. The only reason why you're doubting yourself is because you haven't really studied enough, or you've not really built your skill enough. I always use this example. Every time you're going to an exam room and you know that you've really studied all the topics, you really understand the subject matter, you are always confident. But when you know very well inwardly that you really didn't study well, or you didn't complete all the courses, you'll be like, okay, what if I can't answer the questions? It's the same way with achieving, it's the same way with doing things. If you're able to build your skill to a certain level, even if it's 50%, you have a certain level of confidence that you'll be able to snap out of it, because you know that you're able to navigate. But when you don't build your confidence because you don't have a lot of competency, then you'll be doubting yourself all the time. You find yourself doubting. And so every time I have the opportunity to speak to a youth, I'll tell the person that, look, self-doubt and imposter syndrome is normal. The only way to curl it, to tone it down, and to make it vanish or disappear in the long run is always to build your competence. I'm speaking here because I've been building this confidence over the years, speaking at various organizations, various events, different types of crowd. And so I don't shiver when I have to speak to people, because I know I'm good at speaking to some extent. I might not be an excellent speaker, but at least I know that I have an intermediate level of speaking engagement. So I am confident when I'm talking. And that's the same way you have to translate it with everything, every other thing you're doing. You would only be able to tone down the self-doubt and this imposter syndrome when you build your skill set around that particular area, around that particular topic. And so the only thing I'll tell you is build your confidence by building your skill when, as and when. And always remember that you are in a position to learn. Look, you should know that you are not an encyclopedia of all the knowledge in the world. Every person is learning always and all the time. And that's one thing I love about tech, because it always keeps me on my toes. Every particular point in time, I need to be reading about the latest thing in tech. And so I'm always on my toes. I'm always grounded, and I'm always understanding that I will not be good at everything, but at least if I keep my mind to it and I'm always learning, I'll still be good at a particular level. And so the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome only comes when you are lacking the skill, when you feel like, okay, I'm not really good or really skilled in this particular area. But if you are good, you're good to go. Number one, confidence. Very important. Number two, knowing where we are from. One thing I've realized in my journey is that I've realized that Africans love community. And so you see people building in a community sense, thinking about their community. And so this the second thing that I think I've learned over the years. The third thing I've learned is that with research and all the statistics that I keep on reading, is that the African youth are going to take over the world in a few years. When you look at the statistics, we own the number of youths that are going to be springing up in the next 10 to 15 years. And so we have the human capacity, we have the human capital. And then the fourth thing is the knowledge. We are always in a position to always want to learn, because everybody has it in their mind that, okay, Africans are lacking behind. And so at every particular point in time, you see the African youth always trying to build competence. From statistics, I realized that I'm going to jet us females, because I am mostly vested in that. Mackenzie just came out with a report, and it showed that we are producing a lot of female graduates in tech, and which is amazing, because previous years we weren't having that. But that should tell you that one of the things that Africans are also doing, especially even with the women, is that we are building competence and we are building our knowledge base, and we are trying to compete globally. And so these are the qualities that I've seen that we are actually picking up rapidly. Leadership is also something that we are also building. I see that a lot of us are actually daring to be different and daring to compete on a global stage with other people, which is impressive, and which is actually something I've learned through the work that I'm doing with Developer over the past 6 years. I had the opportunity to actually speak at the International Day of the Girl Child in October, just about 2 weeks ago. That was 11th October. It was 10th because 11th October was a Saturday. So we had to push it on 10th. That was a Friday before the day. And I was speaking to one of the girls who was in JSS2, who is in JSS2, JSS3, ready to write her BEC. And she was struggling with math. And I told her that, why are you struggling with math? She was like, oh, I feel it's difficult. I'm like, you think it's difficult because you've not spent time on it. I was like, do you have a personal timetable? She was like, no. I was like, okay, let me help you draw a personal timetable so that when you get home, you'll be able to study. She was like, Auntie Zuzu, the thing is that when I get home, I need to wash bowls and I need to help mommy in the kitchen. And the time I'll finish helping mommy in the kitchen, I get so tired and I sleep. And I'm like, the number of women or the number of girls you hear saying that line tells you the things that we face as women in African homes. Another statistics that is out there is that women who are even in tech tend to fall out of tech after they get married and they have kids. I'm currently married with 2 children, and I still code because I think that I have the support system at home that allows me to do certain things. I am currently in Uganda leaving my baby with my mom, but it is a woman who is taking care of the baby, which is my mom, and I'm in Uganda. So you see that when we have a conversation about women in tech and even women in other tech, other how do I say, career paths, one of the things that limits us is the whole domestic and unpaid labor that we go through. It's not easy to be able to find help nowadays. And even if you do, the way we are wired is that we are in the caring nature and always nurturing. And so you start thinking, is this person taking care of my child well as the person is supposed to? And so these things limit the number of times and number of concentration that we'll be able to give to our work and our jobs. If you are in tech and you've been in tech for a very long time, you know that we code for hours. When I sit behind the laptop, I code for hours. And just imagine being a nursing mother and then coding for hours. You get distracted at a particular point in time because you'd have to nurse the baby here and there, breastfeed here and there. And so it limits our productivity to a certain level. But that does not make me relent. But then I know there are other women out there who feel frustrated because maybe they have to do it alone. So the things that we have to change in our schools, in our workplaces, in our homes is that we have to understand that women are supposed to also build careers. Yes, you would ask the question that who should do the chores in the house, but that's a conversation we need to have, that it has to be a shared and a give and take conversation. If you have a wife, you have to help her when you come back from work. You don't expect her to also come back from work and do all the work. At least you have to also help in a particular way to also release the burden or ease the burden. If you have a girl child, she doesn't have to always come back from work, from school, and go straight to the kitchen when your boy child would be sitting behind the TV or behind the computer playing video games, and she has to do all the work. So these are conversations we really need to have. And personally, when I'm in my work environment, I've had that all the time. And we're about to have a meeting. You see the men telling me, and I'm mostly the only girl in the space, Zulaiha, take the notes. You be the secretary of the meeting. Why should I be the secretary of the meeting? Because I'm a girl, because you want me to be writing. If I am writing, I'm going to be concentrating on writing, that I won't have time to be able to contribute. And so I tell them that, look, I'm not good at writing, even though I think I'm very good at writing. But I would always say, I'm not so good at writing. Can the guy actually pick up this? So that when somebody else is writing, I'm listening to what people are having or people are saying, and so I'm able to contribute. But if you are the reporter in that meeting and you are writing, you need to be careful because you might not be able to pick up what other people are saying. And so I always refuse to write. And it's some of the things that we find ourselves. If you're a Ghanaian and you're listening to me, I think it's even an African thing, and you're having a meeting at work or you're having an event. Mostly when it's time for us to share the goodies or when it's time for us to serve in the event, they're like, oh, okay, so the ladies should serve. Even when you are a woman and you are working, even at my workplace, I see that sometimes the bosses would want a cup of coffee or want a cup of tea. And who are they calling? They never call the men to get up and prepare a cup of tea for them. They always call a woman. When we have national service personnel in our various organizations, I rarely see them call the guys to come and serve them their food. It's mostly the female national service personnel that are supposed to serve them their food. So these are some of the things that we do, which is a cultural thing, which I understand that women are nurturing in nature, and then we have that zeal to always take care of everybody. But some of these things silently reduce our creativity, silently position us in a certain box that we think that maybe this is not for me or that is not for me. So these are things that we really, really need to change. I can see that I'm talking so much about it because I've actually always over the years had to face that. I mean, sometimes in developer, we have the best of candidates. Like a woman or a girl applies with the perfect CV. She comes for the interview and you are blown away. And after a week or two, she's not coming to class. And you ask me like, my father says I shouldn't come because I'm spending so much time on the laptop, or my father doesn't think that I should buy a laptop because he thinks I'm spending so much time on the laptop. But I don't have a problem with guys going to play video games outside. You don't have a problem with the guys always on the computer all the time. So I mean, these are things that we really, really need to change. And it's a gradual process. Yes, I understand. But if we really want to build a human capital and to compete globally, like we want to on the international stage across the globe, the women need to also know that their place is not only in the kitchen or only doing the chores or only doing the domestic work, but it's also to build their competence, to build their skill set, to build their knowledge in tech, in finance, and in all other places. I was happy that a friend of mine shared a link with me today about a woman who's a Ghanaian woman. I think the name escaped me, who is now one of the powerful women in UK because she's managing the bank in UK, one of the big banks in UK. And she's one of the powerful women. This is what we are talking about. She's a Ghanaian. I don't think that her parents limited her to just the kitchen. If they did, she wouldn't be one of the powerful women currently in the UK and putting the Ghanaian name out there. And so our place is not just in the kitchen or doing the house chores or being limited to a certain level or a certain skill set or a certain career path because we are women. We are made for every other thing. I'm a woman, I'm in tech, and I'm breaking barriers. I'm traveling outside the country, doing this, doing that, because my parents have given me the opportunity to be able to do some of these things whilst building my knowledge and my skill set. I have the opportunity to be able to leave my child. I mean, some of them also feel that. I have a friend who texted me and asked me, where did you leave your baby when you were going to Uganda? I was like, I left him with my mom. And she was like, my husband doesn't want me to leave my baby with any other person. It's either I go with my baby or I don't go at all. I mean, I cannot be speaking. I can speak at conferences with my baby strapped up, but you just know how much that is limiting. Imagine giving a speech and your baby is crying. It's going to distract you. It's going to distract the audience. So don't get the import of whatever you were saying. And so this is what I'm saying, is that we've reached a level where we need to help the women understand that their place is not in just limited spaces, but every other place. Hi, African youth. My name is Zulaiha Dobia Abdullah. I am always happy to be able to speak to the youth because I think I'm a youth myself. As a woman, especially, I've been able to build my skill set in tech because I've always understood that knowledge is power, and power is what helps you to be able to contribute to your community and the country as a whole. And so if you find yourself in any country watching me, just remember that you need to build your skill set. You need to be educated to be powerful and also leverage on the latest technologies, regardless of the career path you find yourself, and make sure that you are competing globally and just not limited to your community or your country. Thank you for having me. Happy Youth Day.
Thank you very much, Zulaiha Abdullah Dobia. Now, she spoke on the team, the next generation of Africa's innovators. If you have questions, you can leave your questions in the comment section. I'll be on standby to help you with answers, and the team will also be on standby. My speakers as well will be on standby to help you. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us on Made by Youth Official, or you can reach out to me personally, Joseph Quarton, on all my social media platforms. Now, my next speaker is going to be from content creation. He's one of Ghana's most successful and celebrated content creators in Ghana and Africa. I introduce to you Headless YouTuber, speaking on the theme, the next generation of Africa's bold innovators.
For the purpose of this, you can call me Headless YouTuber. I wanted to try something new. I mean, I had done music for some time, I'd done radio for some time, and I wanted to try something new because I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted from the music side. So I wanted to try content creation to see if it would pick from that side too. So that's the main reason why I even went into content creation. I knew my personality, and because I had been on radio before, I knew that on radio, people don't see your face. They just, listen to your voice and they connect with you like that. So I knew that it's possible for you to have an image or to not have an image at all and have people connecting to your voice. And I had to tweak the voice because I was also hiding my voice. And yeah, that's basically my identity. but I knew it would work. I knew it's possible for people to connect to just the voice, and that's why I did that. Well, if you want to stand out, you need to be innovative. I mean, there are a lot of people doing the same thing, and there's nothing new under the sun, but you need to at least try and add a little difference, a little touch to yours to make you stand out. Because in a market that's oversaturated, if you don't have anything different, that's your value proposition, you're not going to really make any waves or stand out. So I knew the importance of innovation. I knew I needed to be innovative, and that's how come I even came up with this headless YouTuber idea. And even in my presentation style and everything, I've been innovative since, and even till now, I'm still innovative. Um, there's always fear, but you need to make sure you overcome that fear. I mean, if you don't take risks, you'll not see rewards. If you keep doing the same thing or you keep being in your comfort zone, you don't expect to see any growth or expect to see any change in your life. Definitely there will be that fear factor because the fear of the unknown. If you're going to try something new, something that is outside your comfort zone, you definitely be a bit scared. But as an African youth, I would say go for it. Whatever you're looking for is on the other side of fear. If you can go over that wall, you would achieve a lot. So shake off that fear. Make sure you have a solid plan and keep going. You can make it. Um, I didn't really have a lot of fears by then because it was something that I was venturing into without risking anything because I still had my job as a radio host, and the music was something that I could have done even alongside the content creation. So I didn't have any massive fears like that. My only fear was to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while being anonymous. And so I had to devise plans by creating a different character sheet for the headless character, different from me as Kula. I had certain things that headless YouTuber doesn't do. Headless YouTuber doesn't speak pidgin. Headless YouTuber doesn't understand Ga and other things. Meanwhile, Kula does those, like understands Ga. Kula speaks pidgin and all that. So these are the steps I took to make sure that I don't get caught. And that's how I beat that fear factor in this whole thing. I would say don't listen to people. Stay true to yourself. Overhype yourself. Judge yourself. If you present and it's not going well, you should know. You shouldn't say because it's my content, oh, I'm trying my best. If someone was presenting or doing what you're doing the way you're doing it, will you criticize the person or not? If you criticize the person or you think the person has more room for improvement, then you also have more room for improvement. You need to work on yourself. That's one. Two, people would definitely share their opinion on what you do. Don't let it get to you. So far as you are true to yourself, if they share their opinion and it's right, you know that, okay, this person has a point. So I have to work on myself and improve. But if the person is just being a troll, you will know because you are true to yourself. You don't expect people to just glaze you up and give you praises on social media. Three, no matter what you do, if you keep improving yourself, you will get better and see results. So just keep creating. The views might not come immediately, but don't give up. Keep creating the content, and definitely you are going to get over that wall of fear. Content creation is a very powerful tool. The internet also has made it very easy for people to become content creators. A lot of things like technology, right now people have access to phones, access to the internet, can create their own channels and start content creation. And this, in a way, would make us tell our own story the way we want to tell it. We don't need to wait for CNN, BBC to tell our stories for us. We can do it by ourselves. And we see a lot of creators like the ones doing travel content, the likes of Wodemaya, telling the African story through content creation, reshaping the narrative. That's the beauty of content creation. Once you have that voice, or you build that platform, you can use it to tell the African story. Well, I didn't have access to mentorship when I started. Everything I got from YouTube, and you can also do same. If you go on YouTube, search for whatever you want, and you'll find it. Search for how to start YouTube, how to build a YouTube channel, how to edit. Everything you want to learn, you can learn on YouTube. So you don't need to be talking to another content creator, or like the big content creators, in order to get guidelines. You can get it online. And also with the tools, don't think you need expensive gear, you need expensive cameras, you need to get your lights and stuff before you get into content creation. I started with my phone and a ring light. You can do same. All you need is a tripod. Most people have very, very decent phones now that can take very sharp videos. All you need is very good audio, and you're good to go. Don't think of breaking the bank, going to get expensive cameras, hiring editors and stuff if you don't have the resources to do that. If you have a phone, you can create content. Africa is seeing a lot of innovation lately, and all thanks to technology, I would say, and also social media. People are doing great things. People are pushing the boundaries of innovation, trying new things, and trying to create something that is outside the norm or outside the box. And I think it's great. This tells that the future of Africa is bright, and we are yet to see more things. This is just the beginning. It's going to get better with time. You need to know yourself and know the plan that you came with. Whoever is watching your videos or whoever is consuming your content doesn't know your plan as well as you do. So if you know your plan that you're working with, and the person is saying something else, it won't really affect you like that. If you don't have a plan, or you don't really know what you're doing, that's when some of these hate comments and suggestions on the internet will get to you. If you know yourself and you know exactly where you're headed towards, you will not pay attention to all these social media hate. And now there are tools to actually delete these comments and even block people from commenting these kind of things. So yeah, on YouTube, you can actually ban the person from even, being visible on your channel. So the person can come and comment the next time, and nobody will see their comments. You will also not see their comments. So yeah, you can use that tool to stop all these, or just don't pay attention to them. Because some people will try and poke you until they see where it hurts, and they will keep hurting you. Just forget everybody and do your thing. Yeah, becoming like headless YouTuber, I wouldn't even say it's something you should aspire to be. Just be authentic, because if you want to be like somebody, you're definitely going to be in the person's shadow. So just be authentic. Just look at what someone is doing, and if you like it, find ways of improving upon it. Find ways of being innovative around it, and that will propel you into becoming great, or even greater than the person. But if you say I want to be like you, nah, just be innovative, be creative, and yeah, think outside the box all the time. How to be authentic, how to tell the African story, the African way, how to not give up easily. They should have that tough skin to overlook all the hate and break bounds, break borders, and even do greater than their predecessors. There's no book that I think it's just something inherent. It's something that I was born with. I see things differently from most people, and my mind is always racing. So I keep getting different ideas, and so it just comes to me naturally. It's not something that I learned from a book, or got inspiration from any book. It's just up here. I can't recommend any any book. I would say if just look at the field you want to go into. If you're in the tech field, search for things you're interested in online. And if there are videos, watch those videos. If there are audiobooks, you can listen to them. If you find articles, you can read them. But look for things in your field. If you're into content creation, look for new ways of creating content. Try and think of, something beyond the curve in the future. The search engine is big. Just go on Google, go on YouTube, search for random things, consume all the knowledge you can, and then convert it into something profitable for yourself. One skill.
Yeah.
I'll say communication. Everyone should learn how to communicate, because as a young creator, people will be enjoying your content. And if you can't communicate effectively to the people, if you can't be fluent, if you can't flow well, people are going to click off your content. So as an innovator, as a content creator, you need to learn proper communication, learn how to put your points across, learn how to speak freely and flow freely, so that if someone is watching your video, they can enjoy your video. Also, you should learn storytelling and how to interestingly tell a story, even a boring story, how to interestingly tell that story. Thinking outside the box. I mean, trends will keep changing, but if you're authentic and you don't chase the trends, you create something solid for yourself. Wherever the trends go, it will still come back to you. If you're just chasing after hype, you're just chasing after the new thing, there's something new you're going, there's something new you're going. By the time you get there, those who were already building their solid base over there, they will get the benefits of that trend before you even get there. Build a solid base for yourself, build a community for yourself, also build a solid brand for yourself. That way, no matter how the trends change, you're going to fit in one way or the other. If you're an African youth, you want to go into content creation, it won't be easy, but with consistency, with hard work, and also innovation, you can make it, and you can excel. So just think outside the box, try and find creative ways of doing what you want to do, and also try and come up with something different from what everyone else is doing. And that's the way you can stand out. If you want to stand out, you need to think differently from the pack. Hello, everyone. This is Headless YouTuber. I wish you a happy African Youth Day. As African youth, we need to be strong. We need to be united. We need to be innovative and also be confident in our identity and ourselves. And we need to stay true to ourselves. Happy African Youth Day. Oja, oja, oja.
Oja. Welcome back. I love the way Headless YouTuber said Africans are taking content creation to the next level. If you have questions, Headless YouTuber is on standby to respond to all your questions. So am I on standby as well to respond to all your questions. Now, let me break this to you. These are not the only speakers going to share their knowledge with you. I have surprise speakers who are also going to share their knowledge with you, so you don't want to leave. Now, my next speaker comes from the field of music. He's a young person leading the lines, changing the narrative in music. He's called Austin, but you know him as RC. Let's listen to him as he speaks on the next generation of African innovators, but from the field of music.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for having me. Yes, my name is RC. I'm doing very well, and I appreciate you having me on this platform. Thank you very much. For me, I think Africa is blessed. Africa is rich. Africa is fertile. But because of some circumstances, it's very difficult for young talents to really penetrate or get the necessary support in the scene. So the reason why I'll urge any African creative to listen to this conversation is that I'll talk about my experience and what's been working for me, and how I'm able to make it through this through this environment. And I feel like it might be of help to someone. It might really be of help and can motivate and inspire someone as well. So in general or in summary, I would say it's a very inspiring conversation we're about to have. So it's nice if someone somewhere could hear this. And I would say one thing that really put me on the edge was uh we are Ghanaians and we have indigenous sounds. Same as we have the Afrobeat sound, we have a high life sound, but it looks like we kind of outgrow the high life sound. So all that I felt was very necessary was to make it more pleasing to the new generation, and that's the aim, and that is what it really drove this instinct to try something new. And I'm someone who always wants to stand out. Like when I go to the party, bro, I want to be the one everyone looks at. That one has been with me since I was a child. So trying something new is something that I always want to do. I always want to challenge myself on how to make something new, how to be innovative as possible. So that's how come I was able to bet the sound that I'm on now. The new high life, old high life mixed with R&B, Afrobeat, and all sort of genre. That makes it very pleasing and very modern as well. Close to 6 years. Close to 6 years, yeah. Because my first official music that I released was in 2021. But before 2021, I've been working in the studio, writing music and all of that. So I would say professionally, it's been 6, 7 years for me. The early stages, I was driven by influences from other artists. I listened to so many sounds. Like I opened my mind to a very large soundscape. So I was really being influenced by so many artists, the likes of Culture, the likes of Daddy Lumba, the likes of so many legends, Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, so many legends that I can't mention all of them. So I would say that's how come I was able to get a confidence to really write music. First, it was more of fun for me, but I realized there's more to it than just the fun part of it. The whole art around it, the whole composure, everything around it. Yeah. So my songwriting was really shaped by these legends.
Okay, so
I would say everyone and how they translate their struggles. For me, music is my therapy. Music is what I do. Everything I know is music. I can best express myself through music. So, and my environment also affects my music as well. So in that moment, when I was about to drop my EP, or when I had a thought to make that EP, everything in the EP was what I was going through at that moment. So it transcends from the struggles I was facing that moment and how I was being able to cope with the struggles. So I have some happy moments on the songs, and I have some sad moments on the song, and I have some lovely moments on the song. So basically, that was my whole experience at that moment. And then the best way I could express it was to put it on in a body of work. Everything starts from the mind. And so there was this time a friend of mine asked me, he made a scenario and asked me if an environment influences success or it doesn't. And I told him environment really does. So for me, I would say the environment I've been inside has really shaped me. That is to talk about my team and also where my mind is when it comes to creativity. Yeah, so I have a good team, to be honest. I have a good team and I have I have people that I talk to, and I also explore a lot. I explore a lot. I like to explore. I like to think deep into things. I like to brainstorm. You understand? So for me, it wasn't just about dropping music for me. It was really about making an impact with my music, not just dropping music and fading away, the music just fading away, but rather creating a legacy and creating an impact. That's how I thought it's not about getting the hit song, not about being the fan favorite, but making an impact, a legacy that lives forever. And that is what I've been on. So I would say I wish everyone, every musician had that thought in mind. Because yeah, it's like music is life, to be honest. And we musicians are people that really influences lives. So I think when it's about music, it should be very impactful. Currently, be very honest. Currently, I feel like so there was a time where I really felt like music was lacking substance. There was a time I really felt that way. But currently, I think it's picking up. I think right now people are more, or creatives are more aware of what they do, or what they create, or what they put out. So with that, I think the future is very bright because it will also impact the other generation and everyone coming up. Me myself personally, I'm coming up, and when I see the other artists we look up to creating things that are substantial, it makes me happy. It makes me feel like, yeah, this is the way to go. But if it's more like how I used to think or how I used to see it before, then it will look like there's no better future for us. But right now, I feel like it's very impactful, and we have substantial products as well. I feel like Africa right now is more like the hub for of entertainment, and of course, music plays a major role. Looking at since 2021, Ghana has been hosting some of the finest celebrities in Africa, um, across the world. So I feel like this is also a step. So in future, if we starting this now, the likes of piano sound, high life, Afrobeats, getting that traction that's needed, I feel like in future it's it's going to be really great. It's greater than now because um it looks like all eyes are on us now. Let's say if I'm to measure it by awards, I would say yes, because like the greatest awards show, which is the Grammys, recognize Africans, and over the past years, Africans have been winning several awards at the Grammys, which is a very good look. So I would say we are really positioned well. We have the likes of Burna Boy, Whiskey Dance filling stadiums all across the world, bro. So it's only greatness ahead, to be honest. In the beginning of the conversation, I spoke about music not being about hits only for me or the fan favorites for me. Music is about legacy, leaving an impression, leaving an impact. It's good. I think the likes of TikTok has made music travel so fast that you can ever imagine. It's a very good thing. It's a very good app. It's really helping the music industry. But at the same time, it's all about the thought process. Like for me, music is not just about hit songs. That is for me. So me as a creative, when I see people trying to catch up with the trends, um, it doesn't affect me much. I feel like everyone in their journey. But for me, it's not about that for me. The next song I want to do has to be the greatest song. The next impression I want to leave has to be the greatest impression. In as much as collaboration helps elevate the career, but in what direction? it's about the direction for me. Could have been anyone on Denise and Ben, but Joey B was like the perfect person to collaborate on with the song because he fits my direction. So it was an easy flow and an easy conversation, and I'm very grateful to him. And to be honest, I also think it really elevated my career, to be honest. So I think collaboration is very, very important when it comes to music and also entering other markets. Very, very important, but in the right direction. I've never been mentored by any artist before, but for me, I think in conversations that I've had with artists, sometimes me personally, I feel like there's always a word that will change your life. There's always a word or a notion that can always change your life. So it's always good to talk to people, to open up in conversations, not necessarily finding mentors, but in conversations where you feel you can dip in and get something for yourself. It's always good to ask questions. It's always good to ask questions and know more. And that's what it's really helped me, to be honest, because it may be few words. It could change your life forever. Few words. So me, I think that's my advice to every young artist. Be in conversations, ask questions, don't be too annoying, play dumb, ask questions, take advices, and also the thoughts that you have, the ideas that you have, find a way, measure with it, pick up some things, and then you're good to go. Question that changed my career is why is it that an artist has so many hit songs, but why does an artist have the biggest song, but people are not excited to see him? Why is it that some artists come and they go, but some stay forever? Even when they are not releasing music, they still stay relevant. These are the questions that I really ask myself, and I also ask in conversations. I don't have it figured out. I don't have the answers, all the answers I need, but I believe I'm in the right direction, finding the answers. It's always good, like where any knowledge that you have, it could be your knowledge, it could be, it could be it could be could be money, it could be anything, any support that you, it could be anything. If you are in the right position to do it, you have to do it. It's the responsibility that we all carry on our shoulders because God doesn't put you, God doesn't put you in that high position for yourself alone. When God puts you in a position, it's more like you are for the people now. You're not for yourself anymore. So it's always good that when you are in the right position, you always have to look back into your community, your environment, the things that you know can affect the environment positively. Because me, for instance, I really love football. Football was one, I thought I would be a footballer before music. So sometimes I really want to give back to the community in that direction. I love watching documentaries. I watched a documentary on James Brown, and then I think it changed my life, to be honest. It changed my whole perception, my whole idea, everything about music. It changed everything for me. So I think that it is. That's the documentary I saw that changed my perception and my approach to music. Happy African Youth Day. Africa is on the rise. Africa is blessed. Africa is fertile. Africa is us. Africa is the young ones. Africa is the youth. Let's make it happen. There's nothing that can block our shine. There's nothing stopping us. No mentality. No weak mentality, no weak spirit. We can make it. We have made it before and we will continue to make it. So every youth in Africa, be creative, explore, ask questions, learn, create, love what you do, keep going, stay blessed, be prayerful, and never give up.
So finally, we've come to my last speaker. And this guy, the first day I spoke with him, I said to my team, see, I love this guy because this guy is so knowledgeable and Ghana has not mailed him enough. I believe he has a lot to offer Ghana and the African continent as a whole. He is the CEO and founder of Hyperlinks Media Africa, and he's going to speak to us with his expertise on the same theme, the next generation of Africa's bold innovators.
Right, so Hyperlink started and has evolved over time. We started as a promotion company where we are helping brands on the ground. We call it activation until we transitioned into the digital space, because as a brand, you need to evolve, you need to adapt, and then you might be able to adapt quickly and then get a first benefit. So we were able to be the first movers, the early adopters of the digital space in Ghana to be particular. And since then our services have been more sorted out for. Our services have been sorted out for. That's the main reason, or that's where we were able to get an opportunity to do whatever we are doing today. So one thing I would say is growth. That's the only thing I know. It's every day is an opportunity to learn and grow, and we should be able to grow and understand what a client wants, understand how the industry works, understand the new things, the tools we can use for our benefit. So that has been the only thing for me I have learned, because every client comes with their own type of request or problems. So the only thing you do is to learn and grow. So growth has been the ultimate thing for me when I look back when I look back at the journey we have taken so far. As I mentioned, it's been 10 years, and all I need to do is to look at what the industry is doing, and you have to grow. As an innovator, you don't have to just copy and paste. You have to bring out your own ideas. You have to make it your own way. So for me, that has been the ultimate thing for me on this journey, growth. So I'm glad to share this with you, right? This last month we were in Lagos hosting Afro Talks, and you'll be amazed at kind of ideas people came up with. We partnered with a brand, an investor called Maria Manjalo, and we were able to get people who would come and pitch. And when you look through their pitch decks, you understand that the problems in Africa are being solved by the youth. If you understand this, you understand the future, what the landscape looks like. Because the youth are taking like opportunities they are taking it upon themselves, I mean, just to solve the problems of Africa, and shouldn't be we waiting on anyone else. Everyone is doing something. And there were a lot of brands or people who came to pitch, and the ideas are amazing. And they are also real life problems they are solving. So you understand the trajectory. When we look into the landscape, or when we look at the landscape where I'm sitting, this is a very valid conversation, right? This is a very valid question. And before you build, you need partners. You need a lot of things. For me, I saw it as a challenge, but with Afro Talks, we see it as an opportunity to make something happen. So, for instance, we're having Afro Talks in Kigali on May 2026. What we are doing is we are bringing people from Lagos. We are bringing people, startups from Lagos, startups from Accra, and startups from Kigali and other African countries who are going to merge. Now, when they merge, what's going to happen? They are going to have partnership. They are going to have businesses. There are borders between these countries, but the brains are in tangent. The brains or whatever solutions we are working they are very related, right? Africa has a lot of similar problems if you look at it from another perspective. So I'm just glad we are able to talk about such things or such concerns. So one of the speakers of Afro Talks, Prince Akpa, and African Rising's team have been working on something we call borderless Africa. The border is a problem, but the people are not the problem. The ideas are not the problem. So, in as much as we have the borders, this is a way, or Afro Talks is a way we are going to bridge the brains. The brains are not like, our brains are not having borders, but the continent is just divided, but not by the brains. That's what I meant. So what we have an opportunity to make it right, and that's what we are doing as Afro Talks. Even though yes, it's a problem, but what do you do? Bring up the people who matter, the startups who matter, and they could do business on the continent, and that will help in the continental or the growth within the continent. So just like I mentioned earlier, I've seen or we understand the problem we've identified, and it has been said several times, but we are finding solutions or we are taking steps to make this happen. Then again, I don't see that as a mistake. It's a learning curve. We are all here to learn. Just like I would also in 2014 when we started Hyperlink, there were lots of mistakes I also did. They were because let me tell you the story. When we started Hyperlink, we didn't see it as a company. We just saw it as a group page. Do you understand? A group of people coming together to solve the promotion problem. So I didn't know anything about startup. We didn't know anything about pitching. We didn't know a lot of things people would know today. And then the internet is at our service. But then again, exposure is the whole thing. So the mistakes are very important. If you talk about mistakes, they are very important. We are going to make mistakes by not understanding the terrain, managing clients, even your brand positioning. We can make a lot of mistakes. Even the communication, there are a lot of mistakes we can always do, but it's not. I don't see this as a problem, making mistakes. The only thing I see is the learning. Are we learning? Are we advancing? So the only mistake you can do is not to learn, not to grow. And resilience is very important. So I think I mentioned like brand positioning. Okay. Brand positioning, how to manage clients, how to get even with social media, how you do your campaigns and everything. But I certainly mentioned it, but I'm saying to the point that it's not wrong to make those common mistakes, but it's even worse if you don't learn, if you don't grow by, if you don't realize your mistakes and grow. That's the point I was trying to make. Okay, I think this this is a good opportunity. The internet is a good opportunity. I mean, look at advocacy. Let's pick it from Fix the Country, End SARS by Nigeria. Fix the Country was actually in Ghana. End SARS by Nigeria. And a whole lot of conversation. Today, you can reach as much as possible. You can reach a lot of ministers as much as possible. You can reach government agencies. You can reach people that matter from LinkedIn to all the places you would find them. There is no communication barrier. And to this, Afro Talks as an example is leveraging on this opportunity. What do we need to do? We just need to look for people in Lagos to say, guy, I'm having this event over here, and I would want you to help us partake, or help us or partake two ways. Help us as an assist us execute the event. You can always find them online. Communication is much more easier today when you are trying to reach somebody in Kigali, trying to reach somebody everywhere in the world. So we are leveraging on these tools to build the Africa we want. We also have YouTube channel that's for Afro Talks, where we are putting together content like this. conversations that matter. And then if it gets to the right people, they get educated, right? They get educated and they know what to do with it. So using the internet as a communication tool, there are endless possibilities. And I think African youth are on that tangent where we are going to use this opportunity to, as it were, develop the country. Stuff like what you are doing, or things like what you are having right now, or conversations like what we are having right now, is also very important. I mean, you will have meaningful communications, and this would also help the next person. And when we put everything together, this is youth development. This is what we are looking for in Africa. I see this as a three-way thing, right? It could be systems are built by humans, right? At the end of the day, but they could be regulators, they could be that's regulators or policymakers or people in government, and they could be also done by private individuals who have the opportunity to. So apart from capital resources, which is a very big deal, and it's a very big problem, we still are trying to get way around it. The resources as in personnel, the skills African youth have, I don't know, it can't be compared anywhere. We have the skills. One person can be a videographer, can be an editor, can be a content creator, and there are a whole lot of things one person who is in Africa could be doing, even managing websites. It's not the same in the West. So we have the capabilities, we have the skills, but now the how would the system turn out? But like I mentioned earlier, who is building the system in the first place? It's still human beings. And I feel at this point, uh, um, in my learning journey, I feel we are still building a system. We are still building a system by bringing together people like yourself, people like the speakers on Afro Talks, and meaningful conversations we are having. They are all part of the system. They are going to inform someone's decision. They are also going to help the next generation. So yes, we are liking the system now. It's not going to be better now, but slow by sure, we are going to get there. As for capital resources, I mentioned earlier, human resources and skills, we are very equipped. But capital resources also need um, a lot of interventions from the policymakers or from the people in power. So that would be, for me, yes, we like the resources, but for human resources, we are good. We just need the opportunity to to put it together. So let's say, for instance, in China, they make a lot of goods from what they have, and then they have the government intervention to ship it all over the world. But when you go to Cantamanto, I don't know, but people make clothes, people make like very quality stuff, quality designs, and they can always be compared. Just take the goods we have from Togo. It's always been a mindset that Togo goods are not original. It has a lot of perspective, but one of the things I would like to touch is maybe they are also not too original to say we this is made in Togo, and rather replicate what do you call this? And they have the Puma, they have the Gucci and everything instead of making their own. So yes, if you think of it to a point, you understand that we have the human resources, but the capital to expand and scale up is a problem. Previously when we started, let me just chip in. We started working as promoters for Charterhouse. If you know Charterhouse very well, they are the powerhouse when it comes to events, and the flagship VGMA or the Ghana Music Award would be applauded when it comes to the event space. So Charterhouse, we've done a lot with marketing firms like Swivel, if I can recall it. It's been 10 years already. But when we transitioned into the digital space, it has made them informed or understand that we are growing, and the way they would relate with us, it wouldn't be the same anymore. And so over 50 brands we've worked with Samsung, Links Entertainment, a lot of brands where we are positioned as their digital marketing push when it comes to, especially for Twitter. So we do the Twitter trends. We take care of a lot of other things. We've worked with Global Citizen. I mean, a lot of brands. But the ultimate thing we have learned from this journey is growth and understanding the client. And to a point, whatever you do, the client is watching you. Even if the client is not working with you today, they can recommend someone for you. Do you understand? So for us, that has been the key thing. Just the credibility to make sure you deliver and deliver very well. African innovators are building Africa. That's the whole thing. From my experience, um, we are leaving the francophone countries behind, but they are also doing something innovative. I've traveled the whole Togo from Lomé to a place we call Kara, up towards the what do you call Burkina Faso, went to Ouagadougou, and it's just like a lot of pieces coming together. You understand? And if we are sufficient enough, if we believe in ourselves, if we are bold enough, that's the word, we are going to overtake. We are going to overtake. We are not going to kowtow to any Western influence. We are going to build by ourselves and believe in ourselves. And most importantly, trade with ourselves. So the Africa Free Trade Area, Continental, is there an association or something they have? I understand they are having it now, but it's actually for the future. And if future startups like we are having for Afro Talks are going to connect and build solutions or innovations that are important, let's say sanitation, we are building sanitation, we are building solutions that would help, which are tailored to the environment. It's going to be a different conversation in the next 50 years, in the next 20 years. We wouldn't need the Western validation anymore. So yes, to the point, Africa is going to be built or made by the youth. I mean, it's a bold step, actually. It's a bold step to celebrate what African youth are doing. It's a bold step to say, okay, we are creating something which is going to identify, which is going to celebrate, which is going to, most importantly, tell other people about what African youth are doing, and just to kudos or to pamper ourselves, for lack of a better word. We need to pamper ourselves. We need to celebrate our wins. We need to say better things about ourselves. And that's how the next generation is going to not dream of the Western validation, not say that, okay, until I go outside of the continent, I can't build anything for myself. So this is the time we have to do this. Okay, so my message for the African Youth Day is going to be the African dream is valid. It's very valid. And the African dream to me is Africans building for Africans, what Africans would need on the African soil. So we have to build and grow for Africans by Africans on this soil. We don't need a Western validation. That would be my message for the African Youth Day. African Youth Day is very important, and I'm wishing everyone who is doing amazing stuff, young innovators across the continent, from Kigali to Nairobi, Accra, Lagos, everyone, Togolo, and everyone, we want to say, keep doing what you are doing, and at the end of the day, everything would come together for us.
So I also told you I have a lot of surprises for you. Now I have 4 guests who are also going to share with you their knowledge. Nana Lexus is on standby, Raymond Smith is on standby, and also Gordon Fay is also on standby. And these guys are brilliant in their fields, and they are going to be sharing their messages with you. So let's take the messages from Nana Lexus, Raymond Smith, and Gordon Fay.
Gordon is a curious mind. He is a lifer. When I say a lifer, I'm always trying to find out something different every day. I'm always trying to push the limit. So Gordon is a venture builder also. I love building things. And I always love talking to like-minded people and learning as much as I can.
Conversationalist because I want to hear other people tell me what they have, as I also get to understand and converse back to them. And so in scanning for a brand name that would resonate with every other person that I would encounter, that became very easy for me to work with. So he's a conversationalist NL, so the conversationalist Nana Lexus.
There are a lot of young people studying journalism. You know, how can we empower them, as our tagline says? So we introduced what we call the Newsroom Business Initiative. It's just to look at 2 things, talent and technology, you know, because technology has evolved with time. So if you're a young person, hey, you're not alone. I mean, this is even the time to be young and create, you know. So be bold in your thoughts, be bold in your actions, take up responsibility. You know, that's the thing. A lot of young people are not holding up, you know, they are not meeting up responsibility. They always want to run away from responsibility.
To every youth watching us, I would say that believe in yourself, be curious, question everything, look into things, get a mentor, find a mentor who is doing what you want to do, or who is going where you want to go.
Intentionality leads the way, because without intentions, no one will see you. Even as a PR practitioner, without being careful about how you engage your audience or your target group, you are not, or even your stakeholders in the space that you are operating, you're not able to communicate effectively towards what you want them to perceive or even assume you as. And so it becomes necessary that you should be intentional.
Thank you very much for joining us for the Made by Youth African Youth Day webinar on the theme, The Next Generation of Africa's Bold Innovators. It's been amazing, it's been loving, it's been interesting, it's been full of knowledge sharing on this webinar. This is one of the best African webinars you can have. If it is not this, it is nothing else. If it is not made by youth, it is nothing else. And we are Africa's next generation of bold innovators. Thank you very much for joining once again. You can still leave your answers in the comment section. We will be here to help you with whatever you need. You can also share with us on Made by Youth Official on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever. Or you can also get in touch with me, Joseph Kwarten, the project lead for Made by Youth, on all my platforms, Joseph Kwarten, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. You can get in touch with me. We have amazing things coming your way. We have an in-person conference or summit coming your way next year. And so you won't like to mix this. Stay in touch with us. Keep commenting, keep liking, keep following us, and get to know what we have in stock for you. I want to say a very big thank you to all my supporters. Itfuse TV, One Play Africa, Otobi TV. This is an Otobi Entertainment production in partnership with Made by Youth. We'll see you next year.